The energy transition is really one of the most ambitious global projects of our time. When you look at the energy landscape today, the fact is that 80% of all of our energy needs are still met by fossil fuels. So it will take a long time to really shift that balance towards renewable, even with all the growth that they have seen over the past years.
The energy transition has been a huge issue where we have the artificial intelligence revolution and growing adoption of electric vehicles, potentially taxing the power grid.
In 2023, renewables grew by 50%, but even at that pace, they will not be enough to meet our growing demand, and investors need to realize that fossil fuels will have a longer sunset, and that will impact their portfolios. Fossil fuels are not going away in the foreseeable future and will be a critical part of the energy system. But you have to readjust your portfolio and your investments to the reality that natural gas will see tremendous growth.
Companies that investors should maybe take a look at are the natural gas pipeline operators like Kinder Morgan and Enbridge. So both of these companies have pretty substantial operations in the natural gas pipeline space. Kinder Morgan has benefit for being sort of an ancillary artificial intelligence play. It's currently negotiating to supply up to 5 billion cubic feet per day in natural gas to help power these data centers that power artificial intelligence technology.
One of the companies that is really well positioned in that transition to natural gas is Enbridge. Pipelines offer a really differentiated risk-reward proposition. Oftentimes they have purchase agreements for the future, and they are not directly involved with the daily ups and downs of natural gas markets. So if you look at the latest estimates of what is needed to meet our renewable energy goals, over the next 15 years, we will need to replace 15 million miles of transmission lines. That is 100 times to the moon and back. And so one big opportunity is for investors to look at companies such as Eaton, for example, that are really supporting all of the critical components from transformers to substations that are needed to build out the grid to the size that we need and to the sophistication that we need.
Eaton has 94,000 employees and stock was up 58% last year and has risen more than 300% over the last 5 years.
But still we think that markets haven't quite appreciated the role of the need for building out our electricity grid, and they should really consider these companies before markets catch up to the full potential. Another reason why the transition from fossil fuel will take longer than anticipated is that industrial processes and transportation is using 70% of our energy supply. And a lot of these processes right now don't have an alternative to fossil fuels.
And then there's also the issue of sort of the red tape surrounding these improvements, because power is such an essential component of the lives of millions of Americans and millions of businesses. It's not so easy to just rip out the old infrastructure and put new power centers in their place.
It's critical for investors to not get caught up in the hype too much and realize that it's going to take a long time and that it will be a slow transition from fossil fuels purely to electricity and renewables.